Hello and welcome to Trystology Talk, Sex and the Empowered Woman, where we will be having frank discussions about sexuality, female self-pleasure, and intimacy and play with partners. I am your hostess, Roylin Downs, and this is episode 13. So this is my lucky 13 episode because I am so lucky to have Roxie back. For those of you who have ever been in the store, Roxie has worked with me for many moons, more than she could probably care to remember. But Roxie Rose Heart, as we know her, and we're real excited to have her today. So welcome, Roxie.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's exciting to have you on the show.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes. So our first aspect of our show we always talk about is, have you had your orgasm today? And I have to admit, no. And I could absolutely feel it throughout my body. I am feeling very tense and very cranky. And so for those of you who've been listening for the last 13 episodes, there has been a consistent theme that I haven't had my orgasm on these days that we are doing the episode. So life has been busy and I'm not real happy about it, like I've said before. So Roxie, are you willing to share whether you've had your orgasm today?
No, I didn't. I had to drive a long way to get here. So I had to get on the road early to beat traffic.
And that orgasm just didn't fit in.
You know, I should have had the Wii Vibe so I could just wear it while
driving.
driving.
Multitasking.
And then I probably wouldn't have been so pissed.
That's why she was in a bad mood today. So I am in the process, I don't know how legal it is, but trying to figure out how we can create a car cushion that incorporates a vibrator and that you can manage it remotely or from a phone. So I'm not sure that the police officers will be real happy about it.
I would just use like the Wii Vibe, just, put it in.
Have you seen The Wish?
No, I haven't.
God. I'll have to show you The Wish, and I've created this concept. So
yeah, but you know what? Driving while orgasming is a safety hazard. I bought this one toy a long time ago, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna.
That's all right. We're a podcast. You can say it.
I'm like, I'm just gonna use it. It's gonna be a long drive. Well, I ended up missing my exit because I was like mid-orgasm, and I was like, I'll take the next exit. Little did I know that it was going to be a while before I could even turn around. So
I know where you were driving.
Yeah, I know. I think I actually called and told you. So.
Well, I agree. It's not safe for driving, though I must admit that sometimes if you're driving at night and you're falling asleep and you happen to sit on your necklace vibrator and it keeps you awake, it just might be a good thing for driving. So anyway, that's our orgasm a day. Yeah, it didn't happen today for either one of us, and that's a really bad statistic. We have to work on that.
Yeah.
So,
things to do.
Things to do. First, check off the orgasm. Yes. And my husband knows I really wanted that today, but I'm like, he said, yeah, no time today. So next we talk about what happened in the store, and I think you have a fun story for us because we had a thing called Champagne on Main in Ventura this week, last Saturday, and you heard something kind of fun.
Oh yeah. So I had a very lovely young lady come up to me and ask me. We have this cute little heart vibrator
By Rihanna S.
Yeah, I could never pronounce that name. I always want to say Rihanna, but that's not the right name.
So it's Rihanna S. Heart Vibe.
Yeah, and so it was very cute, and she asked what it was, and I said, "Oh, this is a vibrator. You know, it'll give you orgasm in like less than a minute." And she was like, "Oh, so it could give you lots of orgies?" And I'm like, "Not quite what I said, but yeah, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, I guess it can." But yeah, it'll definitely give you lots of orgasms. And she was like, well, isn't orgy just like a short word for orgasms? And I was like, no, not quite. Orgy is something very different. It's where you have sex with multiple people at once. And orgasm is something really fun. Well, I guess they both can be fun, but...
They could be. I'm not one that is compelled to experience an orgy, but it is so interesting that people have misconceptions about kind of words and meanings, and especially nobody wants to talk about orgasms in public. And yet we really should would know what we're talking about, because can you imagine if she's going to her boyfriend and says, I want an orgy, and he's like, and she really just needed an orgasm?
Yeah. I imagine if she did that, it may not blow over so well. So
in some cases, it might be like,
yeah, exactly.
So that is a really cute thing that we heard in the store today. We love having education and empowering our customers, and also hearing fun things like that. So Roxie and I decided, actually, you know, Roxie, she shows up and she says, can we talk about penises on your first episode with me?
Like, penises. I think it's a great topic. There's a lot of like misconceptions about penis sizes. You know, I get asked a lot, is my penis size normal if it's like 6 inches, or, you know, and guys just like freak out about that, you know, and it's so like, I mean, for me, it's like sad, like that they're insecure because they think 6 inches is like small. And I'm like, no, that's like pretty average. Pretty average. It's actually, you know, above average. So, slightly. And, you know, guys tend to think that women want this. I mean, this is okay, but I mean, if a guy like came at me with this, I would probably be scared.
So let's just hold on for a second, because this is a podcast. So we're videotaping it for our YouTube channel, but on our podcast, if you're listening through our podcast, Roxie's holding up what we call the Outlaw. Outlaw is by Vixen, and a lot of the toys that we're going to be showing you today, you can actually see on our YouTube, so youtube.com/Trystology, or trystologytalk.com to download the podcast. But Outlaw is 9 inches, and he is over 2 inches in diameter. Can't even put my fingers all the way around the penis, and I have fairly long fingers. Can you?
I don't think so. No.
Nope, not at all.
Nope.
So Roxie's saying that if a 9-inch, full-size, 2-inch girth penis came at her, she would have to consider it.
Yeah, I mean, I might have to like bust out with some like Uber lube, like a lot of it. But you know, some women also like will be really happy with that. I mean, every woman's different. You know, each woman has a personal preference when it comes down to penises, but I think it's like more important who's attached to that penis. So
yeah. And I think our point for today is kind of talking about penis size and challenges. Sometimes we don't have penises, but we do interact with people who do have penises, so we get a lot of feedback. So we've got, I decided to bring out a number of dildos, since we, you know, aren't the group that shows actual penises and things like that. So this is Mistress, and Mistress is about 1 1/4 by 5.5, 6.
Yeah.
6 inches, and Mistress and Mustang tend to be our more traditional sized penises.
Yeah.
Dildos that we carry in the store. And so we do get the full range of size with customers that come into the store. And so I think it's really important to note that, you know, some people say size matters, but the consensus we've heard from women and from customers that size, for the most part, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, at least, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, from what you've heard?
From like most of the customers, they, you know, and just like talking to, you know, my girlfriends and, you know, the different trade shows that we go to, and, you know, I think it's size really doesn't matter. I mean,
and I think that's a good point for us to make. But we also want to share that there are things that, you know, you can do to enlarge, because when we sell rings, you know, vibrating rings or rings, like
just like regular rings, vibrating rings would be this. They have a vibrator. And you can hear that, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, so it has clitoral stimulation. But the point of a ring, you know, especially like just a non-vibrating ring like this, and I'm holding up the Tantus Super Soft Ring, it is about 1.5 inches, 1 1/4 inches.
Yeah, this one's actually a really good one. It's has like some stretch. I heard it's like really comfortable. I've heard a lot of good feedback and a lot of good reviews on this one.
So what we recommend using a ring for is to restrict the blood flow, help with engorgement, and help men last longer. So having more time during lovemaking, I was gonna, when you were talking about penis size and what the average is and the misconception about that, I was also thinking about length of lovemaking. So, you know, people think we're all supposed to make love for hours. I'm a good lover if I can make love to her for hours.
Oh yeah, I
right?
don't have time for that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
neither do
I have things to do.
Women like to simmer, and women like quickies just as much as men do. But the truth is that lovemaking sessions, pretty much, especially for men to last, end up being pretty much like 3 to 9 minutes, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be
standard.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and so there's this misconception that you have to be 20 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, hour and a half.
Me and my boyfriend were like 15 minutes right before bed, you know, and that's good for me. I mean, you know, I want to get some sleep. I just, you know, had a long day.
Yeah, and the intimacy, the connection, the orgasm.
Exactly.
Always the orgasm, right?
Right.
Mostly the orgasm. We don't always have to have an orgasm.
So maybe that's what I'll do when I get home. I'm like, didn't have my orgasm today. Let's get it.
Tonight?
Yeah, tonight. Woo! Yes.
So, rings, I think, are really an important accessory for a man. Not all men necessarily want to wear a ring, but especially I've talked to a couple of men that, you know, whether they have diabetes, whether they have some medications that they're on, they have difficulty with erections or maintaining the erections, or they're just having so much fun, everything happens so fast. So if they want to slow it down, you know, with adding the we vibe, and the vibration internally to the lovemaking mix, I think it changes things for men. You know, hey, we've been making love for 20 years. Now all of a sudden you're going to add a vibration to my penis while we're making love, and all of a sudden, okay, I'm done.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't it? It just shifts things. It changes things.
It does, yeah.
So putting a ring on it is a way to slow things down and allow lovemaking to last, you know, a minute or two longer.
And this goes around the shaft. I think some people don't know where
Oh, we have an example of a penis with testicles. So if nobody minds us bringing this out, I won't bring the one out that has the real...
Maybe we should do... Because we need lube to go
No, see, okay, so you hold this and I'll show you what... Roxie wants to put lube on it. So there's a really good example of different techniques. So Roxie would like to have the lube to be able to put the ring on. I just go like this. Make it real big and I move it down the penis. And then, yes, it would have been easier if it wasn't. There we go.
And there's also different types of penis rings. Some of them also go around the entire package, the testicles as well. And that one, it just kind of adds like a little bit more, I guess,
oomph?
Yeah, I mean, it helps a lot more. Some guys really like it. Some guys really don't want to put a ring around their testicles, so it just really depends. But if you're like new to the whole penis ring, I would probably just
put it here.
Yeah.
But there's also, we have a kit from Oxballs, which is a company out of Los Angeles, where they put a ring around the testicles to kind of pull them away from the penis and away from the body a little bit, which kind of changes the sensation as well.
That's what I was told by guys. I can't.
We don't know. We don't have penises, but we love talking about them, and we really like penises.
A lot of our guy customers, you know, it's nice when they're open about that. I mean, in a non-creepy way. Yeah.
No oversharing.
Yeah, no oversharing, but we also have the vibrating penis. Did we already get into this?
We didn't really talk about why would you have a vibrating penis ring. So this ring and this ring are very, very similar. Tantus has a vibrating ring as well. And again, if you're listening, what we're doing is showing you a Luxe vibrating ring and a Tantus soft ring, one with a vibrator and one without. But why would you use a vibrating ring, Roxie?
So how this one works, and I'll just use it on the smaller one, or the...
Mistress, as they call it.
So it goes around the shaft, and this will vibrate the penis, but it also vibrates the clitoris during lovemaking, or you could...
Which I always like the hands-free clitoral stimulation, which is why I recommend the vibrating rings.
And it'll vibrate the testicles. Some guys really like that. It just sort of depends, but it could also be a great clitoral stimulator, hands-free sort of thing.
Yes, and I do like the idea of the vibration on the testicles. I also like that you can use a vibrating ring as a kind of a hand vibrator, a finger vibe, and put this under the testicles or under the perineum. So I feel that vibrating rings are very versatile.
Yeah.
So as we're going through and talking a little bit about myths and penises, let's talk a little bit about condoms.
Okay.
So condoms and condom size is, I think, what you were. Oh, I've got a great story. My son will love that I tell this story. I'm sure I've told it before. But so my son was 13, and he and his friend, I won't name him because he may not want to be named, he was sitting at the breakfast table with his friend on a Saturday morning, and I was making them pancakes, and they were just sitting there talking. So, of course, I was listening, and they said, oh, I took my dad's condoms. Like, each of them were, like, saying how they took their father's condoms. And so, at one point, I was a little concerned because I thought, well, okay, they're 13. Their fathers are full-grown men. They're not quite fully developed. What size condom are they? So I said, do you think your penis is the same size as your father's? And my son, Nathan, I'll say it out loud. Nathan said to me, Mom, did you just ask him if his penis was the same size as his father's? And I'm like, well, yeah, because did you know condoms are sized? And if your father's an extra large and you're a small, and you can't be putting on a condom and thinking that it's going to fit or that it's going to work.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he was so mortified. And I can understand it, but as a mother, I was just like, well, if he's going to try and have sex with a condom with his father's and it doesn't fit, he could get someone pregnant, and I didn't want to be a grandmother.
To slip off.
Yeah, right. So isn't that something that we really need to kind of be aware of when we're looking at condoms?
You know, and condoms are kind of tricky because, you know, I was dating this one guy, and he was wearing a regular condom when he really needed an extra large, but he thought because he didn't have the length that he needed the regular, but actually he needed the extra large because he was more girthy. So, you know, condoms, when they say extra large, they don't necessarily mean length, they mean girth. So just keep that in mind the next time you're looking for condoms.
Well, yeah, and one of the things is that not all condoms are equal, just
No,
like
they're
not all
not.
people's appendages. Women don't have the same size breasts. Men don't have the same size penises. So everything is very, very individual. So we've got Sir Richard's condoms here right now today, and we do love carrying the RSFUs as well. I love how they call them vegan condoms, right?
Yeah,
because
so
they're
they
latex.
are vegan condoms, and they're from Sweden, and they look a little different than regular U.S. condoms, at least the packaging does. They are not square, they're rectangle. So I thought it was kind of cool, like,
Yeah.
to
No,
bust
that
out
is.
like, hey, look at my Swedish condom, look how cool I am.
That is cool. RSFU is also a funny.
Yeah. And I think they actually donate some of the proceeds to like HIV/AIDS foundation.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Sir Richard's is the other brand that we're carrying, as well as the Lalo Hex and a couple other. But the Sir Richard's has extra large, and feedback has been good because I want to make sure. Are they extra large? Are we okay with that? And they have been fitting, I guess, because nobody's been complaining about those. I don't know if you go back to your sex shop and tell them, hey, your condoms weren't extra large. I don't know.
Well,
I would hope they would.
Yeah. No, we would hope they would. But just kind of like clothes, each manufacturer,
Fits differently.
their sizing is going to fit different. I haven't really compared the RFSU with the Sir Richard's yet.
And we should do that sometime and maybe videotape it and share it with you guys, since that would be really fun to do.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, we do have different size condoms here. So,
Yes,
or dildos. Or
So we're going to try it and show you. But we also have pleasure dots, and we have ribbed, and I think it's real important to be able to kind of experiment and see what you like. Why do we want to use condoms, Roxie?
well, we want to protect against STDs and unwanted pregnancies. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Major reasons, right?
Yes.
Those are big deal breakers. STDs
yeah.
and pregnancy.
Well,
unwanted.
a lot of people don't realize is like lambskin condoms, they do have like microscopic holes. So I heard that those are not really good for
Look at me, I'm all.
for protecting against STDs. Also, spermicidal lube and condoms with spermicidal lube on it. It's really not good for you. I don't suggest ever using them.
And these don't have those.
No, that doesn't have it.
Yeah, our brands that we carry don't have. We're really conscious of the healthful aspects of all the products that we carry in the store.
So spermicidal lube often contains inoxal 9. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's also called N9. And what it is, it's actually a cleaning agent. It's used in detergents and other cleaning supplies. When I was like really little, I think, well, not really little, but
I was gonna say.
Well, I'm old. I don't want to say
you're
older.
old now.
Older. I'm older now. We don't have to tell people how old I am.
I'm younger than
when
that
I was
now.
like 18, I had my first boyfriend, and he decided to pick up some spermicidal condoms. And after we were done having sex, I felt like I had like paper cuts on my vagina. And it wasn't until years later that I realized it was because of the spermicidal lube. And I've heard from other people too that have used spermicidal lube that it feels like paper cuts on your vagina after you're done using it.
Which it doesn't sound like it could be healthful anyway.
No,
to
it's
use
actually
a cleaning agent in the inside this very soft tissue of the vagina.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And then also if you have cuts, it increases your chances of catching an STD or HIV.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
So, yeah, let's just stay away from that, everybody.
Yes, definitely. I think that's a good idea. So I think that we're almost at the end. So why don't we talk about the last couple things, the books that you've pulled for us today?
So this is The Hardness Factor.
This is a great book for penises.
Yeah, it's about penis health and function. It's about aging, but also it's also for any age, people
exercise for your penis, eating for your penis,
healthy, and a lot of guys think, oh, well, I don't need this book because I'm 20 or whatever. It's like, if you're overweight or not eating healthy, or drinking, a lot of alcohol, it could definitely affect the way you perform. Also, if
penis function. Performing is one thing, but penis function is the other aspect of it, and we want healthy and erect, firm penises, right?
Exactly. And also, if you're taking medications, it talks about the different medications that might cause erectile dysfunction or other problems with
penises.
Yeah, getting erect. Or,
How many times can I say penis today? So the name of the book is
The Hardness Factor. Stephen
Lamb. And then this book is one of our most favorite for anyone who likes playing with a penis that doesn't perhaps own one and would like to be knowledgeable about the function and pleasuring of a penis.
It's a great gift. I got that for my sister for her anniversary present. Yeah.
Anyone who's getting married, anyone who is in a relationship with someone who has a penis. In lesbian relationships, we're not going to be recommending Tickle His Pickle, but Tickle His Pickle by Dr. Sadie Allison. It's got pictures and it's educational, it's fun, it's light, but very, very informative. It's
great
one of techniques. Yes. Yep. Roxie we'll have this in a different episode where Roxie will show us how to play with a Tenga egg. Her techniques are so famous. She always has to do the demonstration at all of our parties. At all of our parties. At all of our parties. Everybody's in awe of her technique, and she learned it from this book. Yeah. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us on Trystology Talk, Sex and the Empowered Women, with our guest, Roxie Rose Heart, talking about penises. We look forward to seeing you in our next episode, and thanks for listening. Trystology for passionate well-being. It's okay to look.